Zach, this past weekend, I know it feels like coming off a weekend because we're usually doing the show on Monday, and yesterday was a holiday, but Guardians take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Obviously, overall, they're not playing this last week or so as crisp a baseball as they had played before, but in the end, they get the job done this weekend, or again, this past week, and win 2 out of 3. The 2 games they won, they scored 15 runs. Ben Lively got the victory yesterday. And the interesting thing of late is the Guardians played so many close games, Zach, that we're used to like Class A being in every game. But lately, in fact, it's what? I think it's 5 of the last 6 games have been decided either win or lost by at least 4 runs. So Emmanuel Clase has actually gotten a little bit of a break here lately.
Is the bullpen getting too much rest?
Yeah, well, the bullpen has struggled a little bit this last week. You know,
yeah, this is a good thing. You know, if for those guys like Cade Smith, Tim Herron, Hunter Gaddis, who had never done this before.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get the All-Star break. That's great. But I think it's good to just get a little bit of a reset. A lot of those guys were on pace for like 80 appearances for much of the first half. And 70 is probably the magic number that you're targeting. Yep. So, you know, if it was up to Class A, he pitched 120 times. That guy always, he feels like he never gets tired and wants to be out there every day. So it's a good thing for the bullpen overall. And they need, like, that's got to be a strength in the second half too. Bullpens can be unpredictable, especially with a bunch of rookies out there. So they need to make sure that they have the depth and just the health to be able to have as good of a second half as they've had in the first half.
Yeah, they sent Eli Morgan down this week. He hasn't had a particularly great season, but you're right. From year to year, certainly, and even from half to half or month to month, you never know with a bullpen. It's not like a lot of these guys have a proven track record of great pitching. I mean, Hunter Gaddis new to the role. Scott Barlow has not been as good the last couple of years. So, yeah, Clase's got the track record here now for a few years, but a lot of these guys, they're doing it for the first or second time, and you never know. You never know what the All-Star break is going to do, and then all of a sudden the bullpen's not pitching as well. It seems very reliable now. I think there's enough good arms out there that even if 1 or 2 guys are struggling, they'll be okay. But we've talked about this also. You can never have enough good arms in that pen. So beyond getting a starting pitcher, I'm still being aggressive and trying to get another good reliever, because there's always going to come a time where somebody in that pen is struggling. Not everybody's going to pitch well the whole year. And by the time we get to the playoffs, maybe 3 or 4 of these guys right now who are doing great won't be, and it'll be down to only 2, 3 guys. But maybe you made a trade for another guy, and now he's pitching great. And it's juggling a lot of balls, because you just never know when it goes south for these bullpenners. Baseball is very tricky that way.
It's crazy. Like, you usually have a circle of trust. It's usually like 3 relievers, maybe.
Yeah.
And this year it's been 6, 7 at times. Yeah. You know, Hench's coming back. I think you can trust him. Sandlin back from injury now. Yeah. We know Stephen Vogt trusts him. So even with that said, I'm with you. If you can get someone who's got experience, who isn't going to be daunted by pitching in a 1-run game in the 8th inning with 2 runners on in a playoff game on the road, I don't know that there's going to be an Andrew Miller out there. You know, Mason Miller from Oakland is the big fish out there, but Oakland has 100% of the leverage, doesn't need to move him. He's got 5 years of team control. After that, like, it's so much of the bullpen market depends on all these teams that are caught in the middle that we've been talking about for weeks now. And this weekend, what do you know? Another chance. You get the Giants in town. You sweep them. You push them closer to being a seller, and maybe they have some interesting pieces. So it's like Tanner Scott from Miami is one of the names out there that would be an upgrade for somebody who's got really good stuff in the bullpen. So, like, there'll be guys out there, and I'm with you. If you can get, especially if it's difficult to find that frontline starting pitcher on the trade market, it's never a bad idea to add bullpen help.
The Giants have the Rogers brothers, Taylor and Tyler, who are both good relievers. The Cubs have a pretty bad bullpen overall, but they've got one guy who's really developed the last couple of years, Mark Leiter Jr., who's pitched great for them, although he's hurt right now, who could be an interesting guy. Yimi Garcia from Toronto.
That's your guy.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's on the injured list too, but he's about to come off. So there's some guys. There's interesting guys that could help.
Like Pete Fairbanks.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, they traded Savali.
Yep.
But they're also now, they've played better lately. They're above 500. So and then you're going to get teams that are going to have to decide, is it worth it to maybe be the third wild card, or do we try to sell off a few pieces and still be the third wild card?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, let's take some fan comments here. Let's see what we got. Marty says, my guys, Bull with the fresh shave. Yes, decided to shave today, not look like a total slob. Let's see. Michael, they were sitting on his fastball because his off-speed stuff, he couldn't throw a strike. They didn't even throw it. Much of anything. But no, yeah, that was a problem. Ha-Sung Kim and Rob Riffsnyder would be good additions. We didn't talk much today, Zach. We will, obviously, next week about hitting trades. And we have talked a lot about that over the weeks. I'm still in favor of getting one big bat and not a platoon guy. I mean, I'm fine. You want to get a Rob Riffsnyder as a platoon guy?
Isn't it obvious that they need someone who can hit second? We've seen Schneemann, Freeman, Martinez, Jimenez. It's a new guy every day.
Yes.
So why not get someone proven?
100%. Phil, pitching horrible, but we have given up the third fewest runs in the league. Must be the bullpen. It definitely is. Good to have Nick Sandlin back, says B. Skrills. Curtis says we need another starter. Bad. Gavin didn't look to be determined. JP Sears is better than Allen. He is. I'm fine getting JP Sears, but I don't want JP Sears to be the best pitcher they get. If they get two starters and JP Sears is the second guy, okay, that's fine. But I'm not going to be comfortable with JP Sears as anything better than a fourth starter. And even that, I'm not sure about.
He's like Logan Allen, but updated to the latest iOS. Similar pitchers.
Yeah. Bruce says, love the show. Thank you, Bruce. Derek says, Angel didn't do too bad yesterday at number 2. Yeah, I'm with Nick. I'm with Zach. You need a number 2 hitter, a legitimate number 2 hitter. And that will kind of get you where you want to be. And then, you do some platooning and whatever at the 8 and 9 spots. So that's fine. But they're not going to have a perfect lineup. But I think a good number 2, 3 starter and a number 2 hitter those are the 2 key things this team has to do, to me.
And I don't think that's too difficult to pull off.
No.
Especially once, I'm a broken record here, but it's tough to pull off now because there's like 5 sellers.
Yeah.
But there will be 12 sellers in a few weeks.
Yes.
And that's when you can go get Taylor Ward and Chris Bassett.
There you go.